partial derivatives. I want you to pause the video now and try this question. Okay, good. You're finished. Let's look at it. Remember now, fx means you are differentiating with respect to x. So what you have is 4x cubed. Now you're treating y as a constant, so it's y squared. Plus, when you differentiate e to the x, you get e to the x. You keep the constant y, minus y is a constant. The derivative of ln x is 1 over x. So that's what you have there. What about fy? Y is now the variable, x is a constant. It's going to be 2 x to the 4th y plus e to the x, where that is you treat that as a constant, minus ln x. Now what about fxx? It means you're going to differentiate fx again with respect to x. So 3 4 is 12, that is 12. You must multiply 3 by 4, so it's 12. X to the 3 minus 1, which is 2, so it's x squared. Y squared. Plus, when you differentiate e to the x once again, you get back e to the x. Y, treat it as a constant. Minus, when you differentiate 1 over x, what do you get? Now remember, the derivative of 1 over x is same as saying the derivative of x to the negative 1. When you differentiate x to the negative 1, you multiply negative 1 x to the, then you have negative 1 minus 1. So it is negative x to the negative 2. It is same as minus 1 over x squared. So it's minus negative 1 over x squared. But when you minus the negative, what you get is going to be plus. It's plus 1 over x squared. You see that? Now, f y here, you already found f of y. So you're going to differentiate that again with respect to y. This part, y is the variable, everything else you keep as a constant. So you're going to get 2x to the 4th plus this itself you treat as a constant. So it's 0. But since you're treating it as a constant, you don't need to put the 0 there. So what you're going to have is just e to the x will be treated as a constant, so it's 0. So you don't need to put it there. Minus. Now remember, the same thing applies here. It's ln x. You treat it as if it is a constant. So it's just 2 to the 4. Next thing, fxy. You already found fx, right? So you're going to differentiate fy. You're going to differentiate fx with respect to y. Alright? So this means you differentiate the function with respect to x first, then you differentiate with respect to y. Now, just as a reminder, right? This is the same as del squared f. Let me rewrite that. It's del y del x. So that's what you have there. Alright? It's del squared f. I should have del y del x. So you do this first and then that. But in this notation, you do x first and then y. It's the same thing as you already did x up here. You differentiated with respect to x. So you differentiate this now with respect to y. So it's 2 times 4, which is 8. X is a constant here. So it's x cubed. And then 2 minus 1 is y. Plus. Then here, you're differentiated with respect to y. So this is e to the x minus 1 over x. Remember, this is what you're dealing with here. So, look again. 2 times 4 gives you 8. X cubed is just a constant. 2 minus 1 is 1, so it's y to the 1, which is y. This is a constant. E to the x remains e to the x y. When you differentiate y, you get 1. When you differentiate y, you get 1, and this is a constant. So you have it here. You see that? Good. Now, the next thing we want to do, I should really have this as f y x, not f x y. So that's going to be f y x. Let's erase part of this here out of the way. Or let's keep it as it is. Let's move this down some more. That is f y x. F of y x. Remember, this means the same as del square of the function. You do y first, del y, x, del x. Alright? You differentiate. In this notation, you go from right to left. You differentiate y and then differentiate x. In this notation, you go left to right. Differentiate y, then x. You have to be careful when trying to remember that. Here, you already differentiated y with respect to y. So this is what you're looking at. Alright? Now, here, you're going to differentiate this function with respect to x. You did y already, you're doing x now. Now, when you differentiate this with respect to x, you have 4 by 2. Alright? Which is going to be 8. It's 8. Then, this is x to the 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. So it's 8x cubed because we're differentiating now with respect to x. Then the y remains a constant. like a number. You're treating it like a number. Plus, here, e to the x. You treat it as if it is a number. Right? Now here, you treat it e to the x as if it's a number because you're differentiating with respect. Oh, my mistake, hold on. You differentiated with respect to y. Now you're differentiating with respect to x. I had said before with respect to y, but it is with respect to x. So that's why I have the 4 multiplied by 2 gives you 8. X to the 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. And then y is a constant. Because you're differentiating with respect to x. You already did it with respect to y, now you're doing it with respect to x. You did it with respect to y, now you're doing it with respect to x. You did it with respect to y, now you're doing it with respect to x. Here, this is with respect to x, so it's e to the x. Then here, what you have is ln x. Now that you have ln x, you're going to have 1 over x. When you differentiate ln x, you get 1 over x. Right? So it's minus 1 over x. Alright, so let's recap the last two. This one comes from here and this one comes from here. Alright? Now, let's look at them again. You differentiated with respect to y already. No. I'm looking at this one. You differentiated with respect to x already. Now you're doing it with respect to y. This was with respect to x. Differentiate with respect to y. 2 times 4 is 8. X cubed remain because now a constant. 2 minus 1 is 1. Plus, with respect to y now, y becomes 1. E to the x remains. This is with respect to y, so y becomes 1. 1 over x remains. Now, look at this one. Now, you're differentiating with respect to x. You did it with respect to y already. You're doing it now with respect to x. 4 by 2 gives you 8. Y remains. Now, this is with respect to x. So when you differentiate e to the x, you get e to the x. It's with respect to x, so you differentiate ln x, you get 1 over x. Now, it so happens that in this case, 8x cubed y, you have the same 8x cubed y here, plus e to the x, you have the same e to the x here, minus 1 over x. So, it happens here that f of xy is the same as f of yx. Alright, hopefully you tried it and got those answers. So, I will see you next time.